Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Lad, and you're watching the All Tanks, All 10s Mega Series. This is where I take every tank spec from character creation to doing all 10s in the current season, which is the War Within Season 3. In this episode, I'm going to open up the vaults on all of the characters that I have them on, including this one, and then I'm going to see what exactly I can do key-wise. So I would like to do the +6 key that I'm going to get from the vault on this character, and then I would like to do a +8 key, just so we're not doing a 6 key 2 times in a row, like for episode 1 and 2. But before we get to the vault of this character, I'm going to go through all of my other ones. If this is something you're not interested in, you could of course check out the chapters down below in either the description or just using the progress bar, and you can skip ahead to the parts of the video that you're interested in. So first up for the vault, we have the Fury Warrior. This is a character that I initially thought I wouldn't be playing much, but then they fixed a few things with the Slayer tier set, and now I am very happy to play it. We're going to generate some loot for arms because we want 2-handers, because Fury can drop 1-handers, and we have some options here. Okay, so we have a heavy mastery, low versatility necklace on Myth. I kind of don't really want that. No. We have a Myth Arakara Sack Brood, which I think would be a significant improvement over the other things that I have right now, because this incorporeal Warp Claw is just not it, man. And we have a Myth upgrade for our gloves that we terrified last night, which this is exactly what I was worried about, wasting a catalyst charge. I guess it's not wasting. I terrified a hero piece. It's not that wasted, and there's more catalyst charges to come. Now we have some hero pieces down here, but I don't think I should be entertaining any of these compared to the Arakara Sack Brood and the Living Weapons Crushers. I'm gonna go take a quick look at which of these two is better, and apparently we're supposed to be running Arakara Sack Brood and Improvised Sephorium Pacemaker. Yeah, the Arakara Sack Brood is up there, but a better combo is Cursed Stone Idol and Improvised Sephorium Pacemaker. But considering just how shit my trinkets are with this stupid incorporeal Warp Claw, I think I might just go for this, because I'm going to have plenty of vaults by the end of the season. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for this, just because my trinkets are so poopy right now. There's quite a gap between the Sack Brood and the Improvised Sephorium Pacemaker. I don't know, I think it's not that big of a gap, considering that in single target, it is not as strong as the Arakara Sack Brood. So I think I might go for the Arakara Sack Brood and actually keep it instead of the Improvised Sephorium Pacemaker, because Slayer plays into single target a little bit more power, like a little bit better. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Sack Brood, even though we have the Myth tier set piece right there, because my current trinkets are really shit. It's gonna give me a nice boost in power just from that, and also because it plays better into my single target sort of preference, because single target I've been popping off. I've been doing quite well in the single target department. Let me show you here real quick, like the first boss here, Halkias. Look at that. Look at all that. Sure, there were some ads at the start, but let's see. What else is a good single target check? Baron Braunpike. There we go. Look at that. And Pyrrhus Murprey, Seeker popped off on that one. Lord Chamberlain, also full single target. Look at that. Look at that. Just crazy good DPS single target. I'm very happy with single target on this spec. Anyway, sorry, this took longer than expected, but I kind of wanted to make sure that I put some good effort into this character and make sure I don't just willy-nilly take whatever's looking good, you know? On to the next one. And our next character is our Human Guardian Druid. We're gonna go and generate loot for Guardian. I don't know if I did any 10s on this character. I think I just spammed 6s. Yeah, it looks like I just have a bunch of 6s cleared on this character, which is unfortunate, but we can still get some upgrades out of it. Look at this. This is actually a direct upgrade. It's the same item at a higher item level. We also have a high versatility necklace, which is not bad at all, actually. This would be more versatility in the long run, so I might actually opt to go for that. And then we have the Empowering Crystal of Anubikaj, which I'm not too excited about, to be honest with you. I like the trinkets that I have. I feel like they're kind of best in slot. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but it feels like they're really good. So I think I would just gonna go for this direct upgrade of the item, or maybe, since none of these are Myth, I'm kind of considering grabbing the Algari token just so I can have a socket for my helmet later on, and I think I will actually go for that, because all of this, I could just farm all of these if I just go and do dungeons. So I'm gonna grab this, and we're gonna grab the Technomancer's Gift, and then when we want to, we can socket an item. Nothing too exciting, unfortunately, since I didn't have a 10 cleared, so no Myth pieces to be excited about. but that's all right. On to the next one. And the next one is actually our Blood DK from the previous series. I don't know if I'll be playing it much more, but I never did open up the vault from doing the entire series. So we have a bunch of 10s here. Let's generate some loot for blood and take a quick look at what we got. We get myth tier gloves. Very nice. That could be something that I like. That's already a strong contender right here. We get this thing, which is versatility, mastery, kind of shit stats. Even though it's myth, it's just the stats aren't what I need. And Priory doesn't sound all that good for a tank. I don't know. It just feels like this is not exactly my best option. So I think I'm just going to take the champion to myth upgrade for these gloves and be happy with that. Very nice, but nice. Just going to equip them right away because they're a straight upgrade, and the only difference is the transmog, which we will fix immediately. Drop the pack master, grab the IDK bro transmog, and we big chillin'. And now it's time for the last vault opening, and that would be Zacho, our Brewmaster monk that we're currently focusing on because that's the series. So let's take a quick look at what we will get from this vault. We only have one key cleared, which was a +6, but we have a bunch of delves cleared, so we could take a look at that. We have a one-handed mace, which I could not give less of a crap about. We have a tier headpiece, hero. I'm already happy with that. Tier chest piece, heavy mastery, maybe not the best. This is perfect stats, so I might just go for this. Here we seem to have some champion pieces from doing time walking dungeons. I'm not too interested in that. I would assume that's from time walking. No, it's from M0s, you dumbass. I think time walking gives veteran pieces. But we do have a hero wrist here, which I don't really care about because I have enchanted and socketed wrists, so I don't really think I should be switching it up like that. What I think I will get is this hero helmet piece because it has perfect stats for us. That's exactly what we want. And while I could tierify my champion piece, I'd rather have a hero piece with good stats and then tierify the worse ones. Even though here we have some speed, but I don't... Sure, speed is nice, but it's not worth picking vault slots over. So awesome. Yeah, we got a tier piece helmet. That means we can get ourselves the 4 set. This is exactly what I was hoping to do with this vault, is get myself the 4 set. Let's equip that helmet, and then we're going to go take a look at what could be the best pieces to tierify. Gloves give crit and mastery, pants give crit and haste, chest gives haste and mastery as we saw just a second ago, and shoulders give haste and mastery. So I think my best bet is to go for gloves at least because they give a lot of crit, and we were interested in crit and versatility, right? More versatility than crit, but roughly equally, and then whatever else we can get is fine. Mastery preferable over haste. So I think the gloves are definitely going to get a little bit of an upgrade right here. And we still have chest, pants, and shoulders. So we're going to try and avoid haste as best we can, but I think we're just doomed to get some haste here. Yeah, the smallest or the least annoying one seems to be the chest. Let's grab the chest. And I'm tierifying champion pieces here because I don't know if I'm going to be playing this character all that much once I'm done with the series here. So I'm not a big fan of brew. So we have shoulders and pants left before we get ourselves the 4 set. This is haste mastery, and these pants are crit haste. At least here I get some crits. I think that's what I'm going to go for. Even though both of them have a good chunk of mastery and they're primarily mastery, this is just the lesser of two evils, so we're going to go for the pantaloons. And boom, just like that, we went from no set to 4 set. Now as Shadowpan, Shadowpan or 4 set is actually incredibly powerful because we're going to be spamming the bejesus out of flurry strikes. And they do be doing some damage, so we're going to grab the Toasty Dwarf transmog here that we have. We're going to delete this cracked keystone because we've done that quest. And now we have a Solia's Gambit +6, which should be relatively easy as long as people know how to do the second boss, which I can just ping the bejesus out of where they're supposed to stand, and I can take care of the tanky bits. Should be good. Plus it's a 6. 6s are relatively easy unless people are completely clueless. Now, there is something I could do to maybe get a little tiny bit more power before I go into the +6, and that is a singular delve, because we can get ourselves a hero piece if we get the Delver's Bounty, which we can guarantee ourselves getting if we just use a Shrieking Quartz, and I seem to have 5 of those, so I have a feeling this might just be good to do. So again, if you're not interested in this part, go ahead and skip using either the chapters in the description or just the progress bar itself. I'm going to take a quick look at which delves we have. We have the Dread Pit, so that's a natural contender for which delve we should do. I just need to make sure I remember using the Shrieking Quartz, because otherwise, I don't know, it's going to be annoying. We're going to do it at tier 11 because tier 11 is the only tier that actually gives you Gilded Crests. And we may as well try and get some Gilded Crests. I just realized I could farm up Gilded Crests by doing 3 delves, because you can only get 3 times the Gilded stash every week. So you do 3 tier 11 delves and a tier 8 delve and you're kind of sorted. Or you could do more tier 8 delves if you have more keys, but you can only get 4 keys a week. Anyway, I'm kind of close to getting the Gilded Ethereal Crests that I need to recraft my ring to 720. I could also recraft this weapon, but this thing, the ring needs it quite a bit more than the weapon does. 16 item level upgrade here versus a 29 item level upgrade here. Nah, I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, alrighty, we can summon in Kai'Veza because we've reached the halfway point. Let's see if we can kill Kai'Veza. Well, not kill, but just like beat her up to 50%. I feel like I can. As long as we don't get killed by the nonsense that she does, we should be fine here. She's going to summon in the guys soon, the Dark Massacre. You have to look at where they are. First look at that one, then look at this one. Goodness gracious, I almost missed that first one. And then she's going to do her daggers, but she's already past 50%, so I think she's just going to go away. Busy casting those anyway. Yeah, she's skedaddling. Very nice. So that means we might get a piece from this. No, we just get the Delver's Bounty. That's unfortunate, but that is what we're after. So it doesn't really matter if we get a champion piece of different sort or not. And with that, then it is time for us to finish up this vault. Or what? Finish up this vault. What am I saying? Finish up this delve is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let me just quickly grab all these curios here because, yeah, why not? Sometimes you get some relatively valuable mats from them. Honestly, the value of those mats have been going down steadily. Like, this is worth like nothing. 1 gold, 20. Jesus, you're better off vendoring this. I don't know. I need to go to the auction house, just buy a bunch of these, apparently. As you're better off vendoring them. Anyway, we're going to go over here, collect all of the gold really quick. Then the mislaid curiosities. Yoink. Left bountiful heavy trunk. Accept the quest because it's the first delve of the week. Right bountiful heavy trunk. Flickering spoils. Nemesis strongbox. Gilded stash. Bountiful coffer. And the thing we're here for, the hidden trove. Let us quickly take a look here. We actually got hero gloves. So I probably should have done this before I got my 4 set. That's unfortunate, but how would I have known? They have crit verse, so maybe, nah. I'll keep them around in case I can get, I'm thinking about it now, because they have crit verse, these have crit mastery. I could tierify the shoulders. Nah, I don't think the stats are worth tierifying a champion piece over with our 1 extra catalyst charge that we could get from 2k. That's what I was thinking about. And these shoulders actually have crit verse leech, so I think I might just upgrade these and replace the ones I'm currently wearing, because the ones I'm currently wearing are haste mastery and we want crit verse. So that's nice. We got that champion upgrade. That's kind of cool too. Of course, I don't think any of these are actually worth getting over the Raz's Ritual Forge or the Improvised Symphoria Pacemaker. I think those are perfectly fine for us as they are. So nice, this delve was worth it. I am still considering maybe, wait. Oh, right! We got extra Gilded Crests from doing the first, for doing the Delver's Bounty. Ah, so now we can actually recraft a ring. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And then we're going to jump into a +6 Gambit. I'm not going to commentate that one. Instead, if I get an 8 key, I'll commentate that instead. Yes, I wasn't going to show you any crafting, but there is a thing that I've run into, and that's that I need Artisan's Acuity, and that's a resource that you only generate as a crafter. You can also generate it as a gatherer, but it's not quite as good. So instead of paying for somebody else's Artisan's Acuity, I don't know how expensive it is. I usually just get my own, so just to avoid the extra cost of asking someone to use their Acuity, what I do is I usually pick up Tailoring. So we go over here, we grab Tailoring. The reason I grab Tailoring is because it's just the easiest gold as a passive income. Like if I loot humanoids, I get Weaver Cloth, and Weaver Cloth sells well. Then I go over here to Roldira, right next to the craft order NPC outside. We grab this quest, we talk to this guy, we walk back to Roldira, and we grab the Tailor Satchel. You can grab either any of the satchels, it doesn't matter. I grabbed a Tailor one because it has the most valuable ingredients inside, reagents, whatever you want to call them. We open that, and looky, Artisan's Acuity, 350 of it. And this should last you for most of what you want to do. If you need more, you may just have to spend some more gold. But for my recrafting purposes on a singular character, usually that's more than enough. And now we have just about everything we want, except for the Enchanted Crest. Hold on, there we go. So let's start a recrafting order. We select our ring, pop in the crest, and now if we set it to max quality, it is at 720 item level, which is very nice. nice. We're going to link our ring by shift clicking it, and I'm going to say recraft. And then people will probably whisper me, yep, there's one person already, there's another one, and this person whispered us first, so we're going to copy character name, get an error, and then have to type it out anyway. We're going to send in a 3,000 gold thingy. We did accidentally run a bit too far, so I have to remake this whole thing, but it's whatever. And do we send it to Clarina, double check that we have the right stats and everything. Boom. Just going to let Bollocks know that we already found someone, and then I'm sorry. I'm going to close that, just so he knows not to expect an order from me. And our ring is already done. Beautiful. Pow. 697 item level. You can close this whisper window. Bollock says no problem, no problem. That's good. And now we can spend some ruined ethereal crests just to see how far we can get our character. So we did get the hero pieces just a little bit ago. And I feel like those are worth, the hero helmet is worth upgrading with ethereal crests. I'm going to go for that. This has a free upgrade due to the fact that we got a hero hands, and we said we would replace these shoulders and upgrade them to 4 out of 8 because it doesn't cost me any crests anymore because I've already upgraded this piece to 4 out of 8. Excuse me, my voice is kind of going to shit because it's early in the morning. Whew, I hate recording in the morning. It's the only way I can make it work, but still hate it. So with these shoulders having such good stats on them, I'm considering upgrading them rather than this, but maybe also the trinkets would be a good way to spend our upgrade crests. You know what? Let's upgrade the Araz trinket thing. Oh, no, we can't. We don't have enough. Okay, so since we can 8 out of 8 these gloves, we're going to go for these gloves. I don't really care. It doesn't matter too much. And that brings us to 699 item level. We're missing just a tiny bit to get to 700, I feel like. Let's fix our shoulder transmog. We got to look good. But I think with what we have right now, we are more than capable of finishing the entire challenge. We have our 4 set. We have everything upgraded as much as we can. We'll get some more upgrades as we keep going. We have good trinkets. I think we're big chillin'. So let's go stomp that Gambit. Ideally, after I finish the Gambit, I have a Halls key because Halls has changed with this reset. And I would be curious to see how that goes. But I'm going to quickly go through this Gambit. I'm not really going to show you guys much of it unless there's something very interesting. And then we'll jump into whatever key we get from doing the Gambit.
A few moments later.
Well, I only got a 7 key because people don't know how to read. We wiped to the last boss 2 times, even though I explained what to do. First, we had an issue of people soaking when they shouldn't have soaked. Like, they spam ran into the soak. Everyone ran into it because I guess they assume it works the same as Priory, but that is a very bad assumption to make in Gambit. And then we died because the Demon Hunter stood on top of the orb instead of making the arrow go through the orb, and then they proceeded to do that in the other instances of the soak or the orbs having to be done. It was a shit show. I got a little bit upset because Jesus Christ, I understand not knowing the dungeon, but if somebody tells you exactly what to do, please at least bother reading the chat after you wipe. It's just, I don't know, man. Whatever. I'm going to take a short break, and then I guess we're going to do Arakara, which also has some changes, which should make it easier. Now, with those changes, I may consider actually making the route a bit more aggressive and just running straight to the first boss. Or sorry, not boss, but mini boss. But we'll see what I decide to do. I still kind of don't trust people to live. Plus, I won a lot of percent on the first pull, so I don't know.
2 seconds later.
Okay, so I was thinking I could potentially maybe try to join somebody's +8 key in a Halls, because I really want to see what Halls is like. So let me just go quickly and try and find her Halls key. Maybe 7 to 8, just because my key that I have is a 7, and set it to Halls, and here we go. Oh, wow. This group is not going to kick a single fucking thing in Halls. I would hate the group join this group. I'm not desperate enough to join this group. 2 Warlocks, which is long interrupt cooldowns. Shadow Priests may as well not have one. Holy Priest / Disc Priest actually does not have an interrupt. So this group in Halls just sounds like a really, really bad time. But I guess I'll apply to this group. They seem okay, and this group could potentially be good. Let's see if they're desperate enough to invite a tank with 474 rating. Oh, nice. We did actually get invited into a group. That's kind of good. It's even a +8. That's kind of awesome. Let's see if we can put together a route. I'm going to sit up in my chair. I was kind of leaning back right now. Also sorry for the noises of my arm thingy. Whatever. Halls of Atonement. So there's some changes seen here. Now we're above % necessary, so I might be able to skip some things here. We're significantly above % necessary, so we genuinely have to look for some things to skip here because there's no need to pull all that nonsense, is there?
1 eternity later.
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize to my group for making them wait, and now we're good to go. Okay, so we're going right first. We're going to line of sight behind the corner, and we're just going to hope that people actually do what I'm pinging them to do. So let's kick this guy, go in here, keg smash, and we just keep moving. Keg smash here. Going to exploding keg here. No, I'm not. That's going to be annoying. Okay, let's see if this works. Exploding keg here. Gorgons are already buffed because nobody bothered to kick the Houndmaster, it looks like. Okay, Thrash is going out. I'm going to kick this Houndmaster like so. I'm going to diffuse magic to remove those magic debuffs on me. Gonna need to CC this guy. We're pulling the groundskeepers over here. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted. I'm trying my bestest to keep myself alive here. I'm going to use a Dampen Harm, and a Celestial Infusion is going to go out. 40 million stagger becomes 20 million stagger. We're kind of still struggling. Let's use some more defensives. Stagger being cleared as much as I can possibly clear it. Okay, we're going to stun everything just to get a breather. And I think this managed to kind of work. We are missing these groundskeepers, and I'm probably gonna regret that, but we're gonna find out in a little bit, I guess. Not sure where I can make up some percent for that, but it's whatever. All right, that's the groundskeepers dead. We're gonna go across to the next room. Didn't like that. Needed the group to kick the guys that make the Gargons rage, the Houndmasters, but we'll make it work. Again, those groundskeepers, I'm just gonna check real quick if I drop them. Do I still have percent? I have perfect percent if I drop them. This kind of worked out. Okay, only one obliterator here now. I'm gonna kick him, do this, chi burst through these guys, keg, explosive keg, everything, stun, and then we're going to look for this obliterator and kicks on him. Okay, that's my job right here. Kick the obliterator. The collector, when he casts, what we can do is we can just CC him. CC. Groundskeepers are about to start skedaddling out of here. We're gonna put a knockback right there. Grips are coming through from the druid, not grips, but like yoinkbacks from the Ursol's Vortex. We are taking a hot moment to kill this this shard, it looks like, but it does also look like it's just this shard right now that we're fighting. So would it be worth pulling a slasher with this? I don't actually know. I need to set up a Omni CD to see when we have offensive cooldowns that I would use, at least for this. Honestly, I'm going to touch of death this as soon as I am able to, which is right now. Okay, we're gonna go down and do another shard pull. This is a BM, not a BM hunter, so I don't have to worry about pets. I'm going to set up a focus here. Exploding keg, CC everything because the collector's doing his thing. I need to make sure that I hit him a little bit more because he seems to just not have aggro on me. That's fine. There's so many things to micromanage as Brew. It's kind of annoying. Who finds this fun, bro? Who is actually sitting here like, yeah, man, I love Brew, having to sweat like a pig, which, fun fact, pigs don't seem to actually sweat. They regulate their body heat in different ways, from my understanding. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Make sure that groundskeeper doesn't reach that and get boinged, idiot. That being said, these shards are living forever. Our single target is leaves much to be desired, it seems. Okay. So we want to pull pretty much everything. I'm just going to wait for the affix to come in so we can take care of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. Smack these guys, rushing Jade Wind, taunt these guys down here. We're going to kick the No, we're not going to kick the obliterator. We're going to look for a kick on the Houndmaster. That one's going to cast first. I'm going to go ahead and kick him. One's going to cast second. Somebody does kick him. That's wonderful. Just got to make sure that like mobs that get left behind like that, people just completely forget they exist. I swear, World of Warcraft players have the worst object permanence in existence. If it's not in the middle of all these and I'm not looking directly into its health bar while I'm smashing my AoE buttons, it does not exist. All right, we touch enough the Houndmaster. I think it's worth it because it doesn't give the buff to the Gargons anymore. Because when the Houndmasters are low, they actually give a buff to the Gargons. All right, let's Celestial Infusion. Oh no, we actually lost out on some percent here. We definitely need to pull more. This is no bueno. I didn't think this through at all. When we kill that shard last, if we kill that shard last, let me just try the sentence over again. If we kill that shard last, boss is active by the time I kill all of these. So definitely no bueno. Need to adjust that route. Did not think this through at all. Ah, man, I kind of need something else with this boss maybe at the same time, but it's just whatever. Priest has enough mana for this boss fight, I believe. We're gonna stand here in the corner and position over here. Hopefully people don't bait into the worst possible positions, but okay, that's a pretty good spot. I'm cool with that. Next one goes down on me, trying to make somebody touch the affix thing, dropping that in the corner again. There's one more that's going to go out, and then we have to move the boss to the side. We're going to taunt the boss to make him move faster, and one person's getting kind of caught off to the side, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have enough space for this beams to not be an issue. Kind of perfect positioning, actually, because most people will be ending up in a spot where they won't really sabotage us. Never mind, these guys are moving a lot. And then the heavy thing gonna come through over here. I'm just gonna stand over here so we can easily move in this direction. That's the goal. That's where people are kind of standing. I would love it if they didn't, but I'll do it. I'll do this where I will pre-move to wherever is necessary, just to make sure that we have enough space. Another one goes out on me. That's fine. One more heave will go through, and then I have to actually move the boss again. People don't understand pre-positioning in this game at all. There's no baiting. There's no nothing. I swear that's like one of the main differences between a good and a bad World of Warcraft player is whether or not they will actually... Oh, this person got so lucky. Whether or not they will actually pre-position to make sure that mechanics go in directions that won't mess up the future sort of mechanics that you need to deal with. Oh, I kind of messed that up. I almost killed someone too by rolling forward like that in the last second. I think the boss dies before anything else happens here. I do have Touch of Death as well to do the last bit of damage. No, he's got... Oh no, I wasn't paying attention to the power percentage. Okay, we're just gonna have to do this. My bad. I'm just gonna say my bad because it was my bad. All right, let's go up here. And I do believe we have to pull just about everything. We're kind of breaking this pull up into multiple pulls. This guy, I would love it if this guy could actually get kicked. If someone that had a ranged kick could kick it, that would be so much better than me having to do it, but it's whatever. I really wanted it kicked so we don't activate the wait, there's no slasher here? Am I stupid? Did they just remove that slasher straight up? That's kind of stupid. That makes life so much easier. I thought this stupid tree thing was the slasher. Okay, I didn't even realize that was gone. If I open MDT, is that thing right there? No, it's not. They straight up just removed it from MDT as well. I just didn't process. I just remember there being one, so I just assumed it was still there. Okay, this person is just doing their thing. All right, let's split up this pull. Ankle biters, we're gonna stun them again. I have a lot of nastiness on me from these Reavers. What I mean to say by that is I have a 100% heal cut, basically, so I couldn't really heal myself, but we dealt with it and all as well. Now I could potentially have to do the affix, because apparently moving even for the affix is difficult for World of Warcraft players. I talk a lot about positioning, but seriously, just good positioning can trivialize a lot of mechanics that would otherwise really be a problem. Have they nerfed this too? No. How am I able to heal myself if I have 100%? Like, I have two 50% heal cuts. How am I supposed to get any health back? I don't... It was going up after I had done my thing, so I was a little confused by that. Exploding keg smash on these guys, and that should be just fine. There's a bit of a baby pull here, but I don't know how to handle these anymore. You have Yoink back down, but these groundskeepers are nowhere near low HP. They start running at low HP. That Yoink back's not going to do much, but I think we're big chilling either way. I'm going to stun them now. Keg Smash does slow them a little bit. We're going to put this down to make sure that they don't run towards anything they shouldn't be running towards. We get a kick in on this guy. Darkblade is still here, beating the shit out of me. That one's getting close to some enemies that we will pull. We will pull this double slasher, but we are missing some percent here. Oh, that's so annoying. The slasher just turned to stone. These pulls are very small, and I don't like this. I don't like this route anymore. There's fewer casters, so I don't think things are as dangerous as they used to be. So maybe I should just consider making more aggressive pulls now. I kicked the wrong thing. I kicked the slasher instead of the obliterator, but it doesn't really matter. All right, it's just this slasher now. We're going to touch a death it. There it goes. And I think just for the purposes of, I need percent. I think, it. I'm just going to apologize to the group about the route because I feel like I just don't know the percent anymore. I don't know if I do or don't have percent. They reduced the percent necessary by 70, by 10%, so we're at 73. Now I'm kind of questioning whether or not we have enough percent, and I guess we're gonna find out. Trying to keep them stacked up. I'm having a hard time doing so because people are also hitting them, so of course, which they should. Okay, this person got absolutely Goomba stomped. Can they get CR'd? We hit CR Druid, maybe? Good job. You found the button. Probably had to open up the spellbook, apparently. Oh, damn. I don't know really what to do about this. I need to make sure I get aggro on these and these as well. And then I guess I can bounce some of these closer. And I'm going to kick this one and make it move closer. I don't have Clash yet. I might be able to use Clash on this one. Let's use Clash like so. That'll bring it closer. I'm going to touch a death it. This person should be getting closer, but they're not. Okay, a bit of a cluster here. We destroyed most of them, so it's not a big deal. I just really need to make sure that we have space here to do our thing. People are really struggling with the affix, apparently. Yep, there we go. They figured it out. Okay, bit of a cluster. At this point, I don't know if it's me just hating brew or if I just hate playing with pugs. Yeah, we just have a bunch of cool interrupts not on cooldown here while these guys are just doing their thing. It's kind of weird, but we're just clearing the dungeon. It doesn't really matter. It is tyrannical, so the bosses are taking a bit longer. At least the trash here, while I'm confused about the route, is not an issue. But if we manage to kind of wing this without really knowing the route or whatever, it's a testament of the route becoming easier. I'm using a defensive here. I shouldn't be too worried about it. I can use Celestial Infusion. I can't seem to drop my freaking thing there. Okay, they both got interrupted. That is good. We can now stack them back up. I'm trying desperately to make people move into my freaking orb thing, but apparently do we not have any melee? We do have melee. We have a freaking Windwalker. He's the group leader. He's just never in the spot of melee where I want him to be. Apparently. Okay, we're definitely getting our ass kicked here. You can see from the stagger that this group does not mess around, but I think we're big chilling still. I'm not too worried about anything killing me on Brewmaster. I don't feel like I'm gonna die unless the fight takes for frickin' ever and I decide to forget one of the 72 buttons I have. I'm gonna put a focus on the Obliterator and just make sure that we kick the Obliterator on cooldown. People struggling with the orbs some more back there. Love to see it. We're gonna stun everything to stop the collector's thing, and also we're going to kick the Obliterator. Actually, paralysis on the Obliterator. Just make sure he doesn't get those casts out. Okay, we've killed everything now. Dark Blade is going to die to the touch of death. I failed my kick here, but this thing's only casting at me, so I really don't mind. Okay, let's try to actually use our offensive cooldowns. God, I'm so bad at this. We've only done a few M+ dungeons where it was worth pressing cooldowns, so it's... It's a bit hard to get used to. I'm also trying to commentate at the same time. All right, we got this though. Group's doing fine. I'm doing fine. Everything's fine. And we're probably going to have to go get percent after we kill the last boss. But that's okay. I got a little bit flustered with like the way people were handling or not handling the affix, with the way people were doing the lack of kicks, and also because my route is a little bit wonky now because I forgot that Halkias will just activate by the time I get to the point where I want to go. So some route adjustments are in order, I believe. There seem to be no canisters remaining. There's one over there. I'm gonna taunt the boss and move it over here. If somebody would be so kind as to actually kick the boss, that would be wonderful. Okay, that canister got used up by one of our ranged. The boss is almost dead now, so I can just look to touch of death it. Touch of death any moment now. That's what we're looking for. Touch of death. There we go. Get me out of here. All right, so apparently just fighting him in the middle of things is a better idea than doing it off into the distance. I'm gonna kick him and I'm gonna move him to the center of the room as soon as he stops spam casting. I think he got activated because we hit some of these, so we're just not gonna be able to do that. Whatever, man. I would love to be in the middle of all those groups, but I think my rushing Jade Wind hit one of the adds and that activated it, and now we can't really do what I wanted to do, which is something that's been suggested to me, which is to just keep them in the middle of all these, so that when he does do the self-heal, he only steals a portion of their health instead of their full health. Because if we just AoE all those mobs down, he doesn't get to heal as much. And we have no heal cut because our MM Hunter is not going to actually have a pet out, so there's no way for him to have a heal cut on his pet. Into Exploding Keg here, taunt this, and then we're going to go ahead and boom, there we go. That should give me aggro. I'm going to spread out over here, interrupt that as close to the end as possible to delay the cast of his other abilities. And I think we're going to... Okay, that got knocked back. We're going to kill these, grab the orbs as we can, and then move on to El Jefe here. Oh, God. 30% mana. Priest can start drinking if they want to. All right, it looks like we're going to 2-star this. Maybe, potentially. We're missing a lot of percent. So definitely there was something wonky with what I did. Should have pulled that last group in front of the entrance to the boss. I feel like that was the call, because I missed about 3% from the mobs in front of Halkias that he killed. I missed the one groundskeeper pull that would have been fine if I had missed it. It would have still been okay. What else did I miss? I think that's just about it. I don't know at this point. I'm a little bit confused, but we'll see. I'll take a look after the dungeon and see exactly where I messed up. We're gonna try and step as close as possible here so that we get hit by 2 of the beams. If we do that, we're able to reduce the amount of damage being taken by the group, because if you stand close enough, the hitbox of your character will actually interrupt 2 beams going out to 2 different statues. So that's a nice way that you can sort of reduce the healing necessary for the rest of the group. And the beams that you're interrupting, they won't stack and do double damage or anything. You can do just fine. Again, we're going to step a little bit closer, like right on top of the boss. We're interrupting 2 beams. As you can see, there's only 3 debuffs out, and I'm only taking like the normal amount of damage. See, I'm not taking twice the amount of damage. So you can do this as a DPS too. And Touch of Death takes care of him. We're going to grab the teleport out, bring me to the entrance. And then I guess we just drag these 2 obliterators into the corner. There's not much else that's better to grab, I think. Kick them. There's a Houndsmaster here. We're going to bounce them. I'm going to ping here so people line of sight, potentially, maybe, at some point. Oh god, 3 people have kicks off cooldown, myself included. Let's kick this. Let's make it move over. There we go. Kicks actually did go out. I don't know. Grouping these mobs is miserable. And this isn't even percent, which is the worst part. Okay. Well, what I can do is I can zap these guys. Hopefully get some aggro on them with those zaps. Exploding kick as they walk in. That's wonderful. And then we can kick this guy and try and group everything up. That should be percent. What a cluster, man. They made the route easier and somehow I made it more difficult to do. Why are you running away from me so I can't touch the orb? Why are you running? I don't know. People just make some weird decisions when it comes to this orb. Maybe I'm making weird decisions. I don't know anymore, man. I'm just lost in the sauce at this point. I think we got the 2 chests in the bag, but I'm going to apologize to this group for the routing because that could have been a lot better. Sorry about the route. Definitely could have been a lot better. So this whole thing does not really work out. I'm going to have to adjust the order of pulls here. We might have to do some pulls. So what I would like to do is do this pull right before the boss spawns in. I feel like that would work out. We did 2-star it with 2 deaths, so the group was definitely more than good enough to do this, even with my dumbass route. But definitely need to clean this up before I do a 10 where we have both Fortified and Tyrannical. And also really need to be careful about my rushing Jade Wind here. That hit one of these mobs and caused him to, like the mini boss, to aggro. I would have much preferred to just drag him into the middle of these by kicking him because he will cast a bolt right at the start. And if you don't kick that, you can't really move him before he starts casting all his shit. So there is that. I haven't done a HoA, so I'm not going to reroll this key. Could be good to do. Hit the group with the shill message. Hopefully they don't mind me mentioning that they don't kick much. To be fair, we had a bunch of kicks. It's just the monk that didn't really kick. 11 kicks for a minute-long cooldown is kind of okay. 18 kicks is pretty good. Me having 29 shows you basically how many times the other monk could have kicked, roughly. So there is that. But I feel like we did well enough. We're going to peace out. Goodness gracious. All right, let's take a look at that MDT route. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I am so obsessed with having pulls where all the mobs die at the same time that I'm kind of playing to my detriment here. I try really hard not to include mobs later on in the pull if possible, or to avoid patrols, but I think that's just impossible at this point because this dungeon has 742 patrols and all of them are really, really annoying and can just mess up your day. So I'm gonna include a slasher in this first pull because it's good percent now. They actually give 3.22%, which I think is perfectly fine. In this first pull, there's really nothing left to manage. You have 1 kick every half an hour on the Houndmaster. You have the Obliterator, one of them, just spamming bolts, so you send kicks on that. And you have the Collector, which you can CC whenever he does his cast, so it's pretty easy to deal with him. Therefore, I think grabbing the Slasher is just the best choice, which also means these Groundskeepers can't mess your pull over by grabbing the Slasher right at the end of the pull or something, since you're already pulling it yourself right as the dungeon starts. Pull number 2, I think what I would like to do is pull these groups to get our cooldowns back, like 2 minutes and whatnot, and then be able to go into pull number 3, which is the Slasher that's over here. Sorry, not the Slasher, but the Shard of Halkias. They also removed another Slasher down here, which simplifies life by quite a bit. I didn't want to pull pretty much everything here. Sure, these guys are collectors, but they kind of sync up and all cast at the same time. And you just CC them with 1 AoE CC and you're big chillin'. You have 1 Houndmaster, which we can easily handle, and 1 Obliterator spamming casts. This is a very doable pull. Next pull, we have to kind of go upstairs, I guess. Oh, actually, since I'm pulling the Slasher, I don't have to do pull number 4 now. I can do that later as the last pull in this area. That's awesome. So let's move pull number 4, or it was number 5, now we're going to move it to number 4. We're actually going to be doing this pull up here. So all of this nonsense, just all of that gets pulled together. Pull number 6 gets to be this. which is very safe, but that is actually pull number 5, not pull number 6. Pull number 6 is now this, and then pull number 7 should be boss. Then we're going to go down here. We're going to pull all these Reavers and all these ankle biters. I'm not scared of this pull. Blood DK is the only tank that I kind of worry about in this pull, and even Blood DK can kind of handle it as long as you have Dancing Rune Weapon or IBF or something for when the Mortal Strikes come in. Especially if you desync them, if you don't pull them exactly at the same time, you can kind of get away with it. You won't have 3 stacks of Mortal Strike on yourself. And Blood DK, I'm mentioning Blood DK because these guys do the Mortal Strike thing where they cut your healing by 50%. 6 seconds you can sort of survive, and you shouldn't have much of an issue with that. I'm more worried about the ankle biters and them stacking their bleed on people. Anyway, we're going to pull this next, and then we're going to pull probably this, and just wait until these guys are done with their thing. This route gives us 82% as we approach up here, so we can just keep pulling into the boss. Or sorry, let's add this so people know we're pulling the boss, we're not skipping it. We're going to add a pull. We pull this into this boss. We pull this guy into these, and then we do the last boss, and we big chillin'. That is 103% now. Actually, 1 slasher over count exactly, which means we could probably drop this slasher if we want to. I'm kind of okay with keeping him there. It's a good prio target. I don't really care. If we pull one of these slashers into boss or whatever, that's also fine. I don't care anymore. There's no way to really avoid having a crazy ass route. We can drop this slasher to make the route look 100%, and then it's really, really nice. But for the most part, I genuinely just don't care anymore. I'm pulling this slasher even though it seems like it's going to be a problem, but honestly, the slashers don't do much. As long as the tank's ready for the knockbacks, they really don't do much. And I could drag everything kind of over here, and then I have something to get bounced against as a less mobile class. As a monk, I don't have to really worry about it. So yeah, this is going to be my route going forward, because I just think it's going to be the sort of the simplest and easiest route to do. There's the least variance. I guess what might happen here while I'm fighting these guys, if I don't bounce them or do something to move them away, is this group of ankle biters might get pulled. I'm not too worried about that. I'll just move these mobs away as best I can to make sure that these ankle biters don't get pulled. And if they do get pulled, it's just 5 ankle biters. Even if we do accidentally include them, that ends up putting us 1% over count, and I really don't care. So there is some variance in the count here, whether you pull this mob or not, whether you pull these mobs or not, but this is probably the most consistent route that I can think of for Halls of Infusion, wrong freaking expansion, bro. Halls of Atonement, as the current count stands, with the changes they've done with this patch, or sorry, not patch, but like reset. I'm not too thrilled about it. There's still some weird pulls going on. There's still some variations here. There's a lot of mobs patrolling constantly. It's really annoying. It makes a big difference whether a mob is right next to other mobs or at the end of its patrol on how you manage to group mobs, but that's just something I'm gonna have to deal with no matter what I do with Halls of Atonement. There's just so much. I get so overstimulated when I play Brewmaster, or like when I'm trying to commentate while also trying to wing the route, sort of, with not being 100% familiar with it, plus a lot of just having the mechanical overload that is Brewmaster right now with the 52,000 fucking buttons that they put into this spec. I just don't know, man. We're gonna get all the 10s done. It's gonna be fine. I'm probably not gonna die or anything like that. Oh hey, it's Curlit. Hi, Curlit. Seeing him play a Blood Death Knight instead of an Affliction Warlock feels weird. I don't know if that is the Curlit I'm thinking of, but either way, hi, Curlit. Anyway, I've yapped enough. We've 2-starred an 8. I should be happy instead of introspective, but I know that I can play this class so much better, and I know I can route so much better. There's so many things I can do so much better that I kind of get caught up in it, but it's whatever. If you guys still enjoy this video, drop a like, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. Include the word count in your comment because I sure missed it. If you do include the word count in your comment, I'll make sure to heart it when I see it. But as always, friends, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.